Hi Taurus, I'm your intuitive and I'm an intuitive and animal pet communicator. Welcome to your monthly reading for July 2015. I'm using the Rider-Waite Tarot for you. This card popped out for you, and well, I got your cards down. The card pack down, and there's a couple of messages coming through before I get into your reading and draw some cards out. I'm hearing pets and animals, so I feel, for the various Taurans out there, there's messages in regards to pets and animals for your Taurans, and perhaps not only the sun sign but the rising signs and the moon signs as well. Okay, so for some of you, it feels like there may be a deceased pet having links with a living pet, and what I mean by that is perhaps you have a kitten, that you've got a kitten now, and it has nothing to do with your deceased pet, but something about the kitten, a trait, particular characteristic or look reminds you of your deceased pet. There's and that's what I mean. And for others, there's it feels like deceased pets are wanting to send you messages, playful type of messages, right? A playful type of energy, and for some of you as well, there seems to be things to do with play with animals, and there's this sense of animals being very playful and wanting to play, or needing more playtime with you, or just more playtime in general, like very, very playful animals that need a lot of playtime, okay? And that's going to help bring some steadiness too. And for some of you as well, I feel that there's animal totems, or an animal totem wanting to get a message to you, and it's quite interesting because I've noticed with this month's reading that quite a few animal guides or totems have come through in the other sun sign readings. So it feels like animal guides and animal totems are really coming up quite strongly. Now, the other thing too is that, in this card, you can think of it as church, or a person working quite hard and at a church or some kind of an establishment, right? And that's another message that is coming through for some of you Taurans as well. There's the sense of being a part of some kind of a group, organisation or community, and dealing with these kind of establishments, right? And perhaps some of them are old establishments, and they're kind of like merging with the new, a new business or a new establishment. And for some of you this might be in Korea, and there's a sense of some Taurans playing with the big guns now, playing with the big boys now, so to speak, and it seems to include being part of some kind of an organisation or community. So that's just some messages coming through, and I think your abundance vibration for 2015 is all about life purpose for you. And life purpose doesn't mean that you go out there and discover what you're meant to do with your life. It's more of a step-by-step process, where you take one step, you learn some things, you discover more about yourself, and then you take another step, and that's kind of like how you discover your life purpose, well, for the majority of us anyway. Okay, so for your block or challenges card, we have two cards for you Taurans, and another sign had two block cards as well. So they're basically meaning the same thing. So this is kind of letting me know that there seems to be a block or challenge in regards to, for a lot of you, something to do with projects, work projects, career, and any kind of perhaps study as well. You know, the Chariot card is usually thought of various things such as opposing forces, right? And knowing which direction to go and making decisions, and decisions that have a kind of opposing force type of connection to it. You know, so there's this sense of the challenge being about not making things, you know, the decisions you make, really making sure that it's the decisions don't give you, the decisions that you come to or decide to make don't give you more challenges, so to speak. But you know, you're a very independent sign, so you know, I feel that when you make decisions, you're happy with them. So you know, the message is just giving. The message is just about being aware of some of the choices, and so that you're not giving yourself more challenges. You know, for instance, just to give an example, perhaps you make the decision to take a sickie, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. You know, well, I mean, you know, that's your choice to make, for instance, and so you might as well enjoy that day off. The challenge may be that now you have a larger workload, or you miss out on a deal and lose money, or things didn't get completed and now it has to be redone, or something like that, right? It's not coming up as a big huge deal or a big huge block, but it is coming up as something to be aware of, so that you're not giving yourself more challenges. You know, that seems to be the underlying message, not giving yourself more challenges by some of the choices that you make. Yet at the same time, you know, there's this sense coming up that you're usually happy with the choices that you make. So that's good as well. You know, whatever choices we make, at least we're happy with them. So that's good as well. So it's just that underlying message there for you guys as well. And definitely it feels work, career, project, study, and possibly prying into family as well. So in your next card, it is the Anything Goes card, or what I call the Anything Goes card, and it's linked to your past. So this was representing your past, and you know, so we can just go by the past readings, because you know this card is talking about keeping the faith, and talking about not knowing how something or how an issue was going to pan out. You know, it was like the outcomes were unclear, and making choices when knowing that the outcomes were unclear. You know, making decisions even when we didn't know how it was going to pan out. You know, that's the kind of thing that was going on in the past, and you know, and keeping the faith even though not knowing quite what the outcomes were going to be. So the next card is the this is the near future card. I'll get to that card in a minute. I'm going to pull out some more cards. So let's have a look at these cards here. You know, with this card, going back to the past card, there's links with this card and the block card, or the challenge card, right? There's this message about knowing or being aware of the differences between keeping the faith and making deliberate choices that aren't really about keeping the faith. So, you know, for instance, perhaps in the past you may have moved out of a relationship that was emotionally or physically abusive, or perhaps you left a career that was emotionally and mentally draining or exhausting for you, right? Something like that. And so, you know, keeping the faith may have been leaving those situations, even though there may not have been another job available, even though there may not have been your own home available, and you would have been sleeping on someone's couch, so to speak, you know, something like that, but you kept the faith anyway. And that's, you know, the message is about, you know, how that type of keeping the faith is different to making decisions like taking a sickie. And so, I don't mean to preach at all, Taurus, but, you know, this message is coming up again, and it's like the guides are wanting this to be really clear for you. So, like, it's like different manifesting power, so to speak, right? So, you know, taking a sickie can have it's a different type of manifesting power, and it wouldn't be thought of as keeping the faith, so to speak. So I feel that has significance for you, and maybe sit with that and see how that resonates for you in July, or how it shows up. You know, keeping the faith is a bit different to making deliberate choices that are not the same as getting yourself away from a draining situation. You know, it's kind of like you may make a decision to not do something because you want a relaxing day, and there's nothing wrong with that. That wouldn't be keeping the faith, so to speak, unless you were actually really exhausted and needed a relaxing day. Yeah, so perhaps more information in regards to that will come up in your reading. So let's move on to this card here, the Eight of Swords. Now, this is coming up as your subconscious card, and yeah, you know, I'm hearing heed the warning differences between keeping the faith and making choices that are not really about keeping the faith, because there are different manifesting powers, is what I'm hearing. You know, there's also this, you know, perhaps in the subconscious that, you know, I don't like to say it, but this is the word that I'm hearing, and there's a sense of cockiness is what I'm getting, and you know, I just can't imagine Taurans being this way at all. So, you know, but maybe there is a bit of this going on in regards to keeping the faith, right? And making all sorts of various decisions, and you know, and some of these decisions may be making more challenges for yourself, or may have consequences if you're working with new establishments and organisations that have a particular order. You know, the other thing too with this subconscious card is that you may be, you know, in your mind feeling like you're having to deal with people, perhaps from a new organisation, that are kind of cocky as well. You know, that's another message of this card as well. So, you know, interesting that this card is up here too, because you've got the Anything Goes card and you've got this card here too. You know, it feels to do with relationships, and again, keeping the faith, right? So for some of you Taurans, in the present, right, in the next, the present July, or early July, the first 2 weeks of July, right, for some of you, there may be some, you know, some of you may be needing to keep the faith in regards to a relationship or a sexual relationship, right, and you know, maybe feel like quitting, and that's up to you, but, you know, there's this sense of keeping the faith, right? Some of you may be on an exercise regime or a beauty thing, because I'm really, and you've been told to keep the faith as well, and, you know, don't give up, so to speak. So, because, you know, what I'm really being drawn to is how this is a photo of her, It's like she's modelling or presenting. And so perhaps some of you are doing something like that, where you are modelling something, or you are presenting something to a crowd, or to a panel or something like that, and or to media, right? And you're being asked to, for the present, you're being asked to keep the faith as well, and not to quit. I'm hearing actions speak louder than words. Okay. Now, this card here is showing up as your near future card. And, there's this sense of this knight looking back, looking back. So, in the near future, there's this feeling of perhaps you'll be looking back at some of the decisions you've made, or for some reason it's been highlighted, some of the decisions or choices have been highlighted to you. Perhaps someone is highlighting some choices that you made, and it could be good or bad. It's not coming up as bad or good. It's not coming up as either. It's just things have been highlighted from the past, like past choices have been highlighted, like consequences, I guess. But it's not a good or bad feeling about it. But I'm hearing it as it's like some of these choices or decisions may be creating more challenges for you, such as in the future. So perhaps having to backtrack, so to speak, which isn't a terrible thing, but perhaps it's time consuming, so to speak, or consumes money, right? That kind of thing. So, at the same time, Taurans, I'm getting that other message too, that, a lot of the times, whatever choices you make, you're very happy with your choices too. And so, you own up to it, I guess, is is that other message that's coming through. Or, you let it go and move on, so to speak, as well. So let's move on to the next card for you. Okay, Taurus, the next card for you is the Six of Cups. And I'm just going to move these cards out of the way. This card is the advice card for you, Taurans out there. And, there's this sense of, again, establishments, organisations, and order, and that sometimes establishment and order are there or are around for a reason, and it's and the other message I'm getting is that sometimes institutions are the roofs over our heads, or are the roofs over the heads for others. So, earlier on in the reading, there was that message coming across about organisations and establishments, and perhaps you are involved with, in some way, with the community and helping others and caring for others, maybe making decisions that have consequences for them, or something like that. And I keep hearing heed the warning. So, the other message coming through is to go within, at times, especially when it comes to making decisions. Go within, and and what does it mean to go within? I'm hearing to mend. So, there's that. Because I'm really attracted to the roofs in this picture, right? And that it's as if they could collapse at any time. And I also have to be aware of, the feelings that I get when I do readings and when I pull out cards, as a reader. I not only get clairvoyant messages, I may get memories or feelings, that sort of stuff. And so, when I pulled out this card, what I was reminded of was that I used to really be afraid of this card. So sometimes people are afraid of particular cards, or well, not afraid, but they might be like, ooh, it's that card, So for instance, if you pull out the Tower card, a lot of times people are get their backs up when they see the Tower card, or see the Devil card or something, and it's usually been this card that has done it for me. So instead of like, oh my God, it's the Tower card, or oh my God, it's the Devil card, I'd pull out this card and go, oh my God, it's the Six of Cups card. And so, and that's for me personally. So not for other people. It's just the card that kind of like used to get my back up. It doesn't get my back up anymore. And I guess that's because when I look at this card, for me, it always reminds me of memories and past lives and things like that. So, that's the message coming through for you Taurans as well. So I feel that it's also to me an odd card. To me it just looks odd. There's this what looks like an old lady and a little old lady that seems to fit in this picture with this really big child, and somehow it seems to be like a mismatch going on here. So perhaps there's some kind of something like that going on too. Perhaps in career there might be some mismatching going on, and a need to go within, especially if you're making choices, making decisions that could have consequences for others, especially if you're working within the community, I think. And this is a card of memories as well, and that other card that came up, the Knight of Wands, about like in the near future, it seems like some choices from the past may be getting highlighted, and it could be, good or for bad. I don't feel it's more about good or bad. It's just about perhaps giving yourself more challenges, maybe having to backtrack. The other thing too about roofs is, in this picture, is that they protect the home, right? They keep out the wind and the rain and make sure things inside the home are not damaged. So, there's this sense of protection in regards to the community as well. So, this may be a message for particular Taurans out there, and not all Taurans, because this is a general reading. But it feels like more of a specific message there for some Taurans. So again, there's this sense of mending. So that's the advice of this card, of mending. And let's move on to the next card. So the next card we have is the Page of Pentacles, and this is showing up as the external card, the outside influences, the people, environment and circumstances that have an impact on you or your world, or influence you in some way. And I'm hearing there's a fine line between juggling finances or business choices. So I feel that this is also the Pentacles card, so it could be an earth sign that maybe there's some they're juggling their finances, they're juggling career choices, and it feels like a very fine line, and it can be influencing you or having an impact on you and your choices as well, and being aware of what is acceptable behavior in regards to juggling finances and business. So this could be for you, what's impacting you at this moment, what's having an influence on you at this moment, is being at a stage where maybe you're experiencing a fine line between juggling finances and business choices or study choices or relationship choices, right? And at the same time, perhaps there's an earth sign that is also going through this and it's impacting you. So that's the outside circumstances. And, if we go back to this card here, which is the advice card, in regards to the external circumstances, mending, and there may be a need to go within to do some mending, and also that message again that a roof protects the home, so to speak, and there may be some mending needed in regards to juggling finances. Okay, Taurus, the aim of the month for you in July is this card here, which is the Two of Swords. Usually this is a card about stalemate, about indecision, perhaps being blindsided, not seeing something. For you it's showing up as taking your time in regards to making decisions if you're unsure what decision to make. That's the aim of this month. Not making decisions in haste, so to speak, right? Taking your time, thinking about the consequences, right? Are you making more challenges for yourself further down the line? And there's also a message about understanding institutions and the order of things, or establishments and traditions in regards to decisions that you make as well. So this could play out in any area of your life. Perhaps it's career, finances, juggling of finances and business. It could be within your relationships as well. So yeah, that's the aim of the month. It's knowing that it's okay when you're feeling indecisive. It's okay to be at a stalemate, especially if you're unsure of what decision to make, right? So to take your time making decisions and working things out to help you make your decision, as well as the other message coming through. The final card that we have is the outcome card for you, and it is the Fool in reversed. And I'm hearing inaction, Taurus. So it's there's a couple of messages with this, and I have to think about some of the cards you've had, like this card and this card, right? So the outcome, there's a little bit of a mystery going on with the outcome, and it's kind of like your other cards, like your past card as well, where you made some choices, not knowing what the outcomes were going to be. It was unclear, right? It was uncertain. So with the outcome card, there's this sense of mystery with it, and that's not to say it's a bad thing at all. And there's also the sense of inaction, and that you may need to take some action. And I feel this may have to do with this card here, where you've been asked to, where there's this stalemate going on, or indecision going on, and the aim of the month is to, as well as the advice, right? The advice is to go within and to mend as well. And the aim of the month is about not rushing decisions, not making hasty decisions, but to take the time to think about the decisions, perhaps go within, and the theme is about mending. So perhaps it's a financial decision, so going within with the notion of mending a financial situation, or perhaps it's a family situation, a relationship situation, or colleague situation, right? So the outcome does feel like there is some inaction and with it some mystery as well. There might be some mystery playing out. And for those of you that feel like the outcome, later on in July, and you feel like there's an action going on, the message is about taking some action, okay? So I feel that there's a couple of different messages here for the various Taurans, okay? Some of you may be worried that you're not going to have all the things that you want. There's this theme with Taurans about the grass is greener elsewhere, and so you're wanting to have greener pastures, right? And so inaction can hinder that for you, right? Having that grass is greener, not somewhere else, but for yourself, right? So, there's that also that other theme of keeping the faith. So, this could be a message for some of you as well about there may be some inaction in regards to keeping the faith to some of the dreams and goals you have about that greener pasture that you want to create for yourself, right? So, and that come back to some of the decisions or choices that you make, right? And whether those decisions are making more challenges for you rather than making decisions that are keeping the faith decisions. So hopefully that makes sense, because it's really coming across strongly to make that clear to Taurans, the difference between keeping the faith decisions, such as leaving a career that was emotionally draining, even though there was no other career to go to. That's like a keeping the faith decision, and it's not the same as just as an example, I'm only using it as an example, taking a sicky day off, let's say when you've got an exam or something, and so that can cause challenges for you later on, but it's not a keeping the faith choice or decision. So something for you to think about anyway. And so I think the choices that you make, it's coming across really strongly to be aware of the choices, and again to think about, is it bringing you more challenges, and is it keeping the faith kind of a choice. So thank you for listening, Taurans, and hopefully you find this reading helpful for you in the month of July. And if you would like to get a reading with me, I do personal one-on-one readings. You can contact me at maryintuitive@outlook.com, and I'll leave my link down below, or you can private message me at my Facebook page, and the link is down below. I'm also an animal pet communicator, so if you'd like a reading for you and your pet, or your pet, please contact me. I'd also like to say thank you. I always forget to say this at the beginning of the reading. I'd just like to say thank you to those that have already ordered readings from me and have shared, liked, and subscribed and commented on my videos too. So thank you, Taurans, and I look forward to reading for you next month in August, and keep the faith, Taurans.